Welcome back to the Out of Bounds podcast. I am Charlie Calieri alongside
Gavin Williams.
And today we want to start off by saying thank you guys for
Thank
3
you.
years. 3 years of the Out of Bounds podcast. What a journey it has been. Gavin, just want to reflect on that real quickly before we get into the episode.
Yeah, I mean, wow, 3 years. Feels like it's been 3 days.
3 days, yeah.
We were looking right back at our notes right before this episode came out, or before we started recording, and I was just kind of laughing because of our notes. We barely had anything. We kind of freeballed that first episode.
Yeah.
And a lot of respect to those little two freshmen back there in Fal. You know?
We definitely
shared one mic that episode too.
Definitely improved a lot. If you go back and listen to that episode, it might be worth the listen, because today that's exactly what we want to revisit. We want to revisit our first episode, the topic of our first episode today. I mean, we don't want to say there's not much going on in the sports world, but we're in between a few things right now. So I think next week we're going to really hit it hard. March Madness, maybe we'll have an episode after the second weekend.
Yeah.
And then, we'll hit it hard with the NFL draft coming up soon, and the NBA and NHL playoffs coming up soon. So right now I think we just wanted to
take a step back.
Yeah, take a step back and show our appreciation for the 3 years and go back to our roots of the first episode.
That's what it's all about,
baby. Talk about some expansion and relocation, mostly expansion. And since that first episode that we had, and let's get right into it right now, we have had a team or two teams that have relocated.
This is true.
We have had the Oakland A's relocate from Oakland to Sacramento, which was in their process of moving to Las Vegas. So we will be excluding Las Vegas from this MLB list because, back then we had them on there.
Yep.
Now they will have a team in 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
2 seasons from now. And then on the NHL side, the whole thing with the Arizona Coyotes fell apart. That came out of nowhere. Still sorry to those Arizona fans that they lost their team so suddenly, too. It was in about a month or two, people forget.
Yeah.
Went to Utah. Obviously, they had the plain jerseys for a year.
The Utah Hockey Club, right?
Yeah, and then they were the Utah Mammoth.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure this is their first season as the Mammoth, correct?
This is, yes.
So
yeah.
We do have some new cities and some new sports and some new discussions to talk about here. So the conversation will be different. And starting off with our first sport, the NBA, we have some news in the recent days about the expansion. And we've been waiting for this news basically since that first episode, the rumors were circulating, and now officially we have some concrete information and evidence, I guess, to what cities will be the next cities for the NBA, and not potentially who's going to be the owners, but the asking price for the owners. It's going to be a hefty
7 to 10, man.
Hefty bidding price for
7
those.
7 to 10 B's, not M's. B's.
Not M's, B's.
B's.
You can't even get a role player with 7 to 10 M's these days. But 7 to 10 B's is going to be the asking price for an NBA franchise. I think if you're somebody that has that kind of money, I think it's well worth it.
You're
going to make your money back.
Yeah, you are.
And especially if you're the one that buys that Seattle team.
Yep.
So let's start right there. The first city that we are going to be talking about is Seattle. Seattle and Vegas.
Love it, man.
Those are going to be the two that are going to be in the NBA, presumably, unless some third team swipes in. And
they said exclusively from Shams, and Shams said it's not a matter of if, he said it's a matter of when.
So basically right now, it's the NBA wants to, and I'm sure that somehow, I know the league headquarters are in Brooklyn right now.
Yeah.
I think Silver wants to move it to Vegas.
I think so too.
They do everything. They do the NBA Cup there. They do Summer League there. They do all their centralized stuff there besides the draft, which is in Brooklyn. So that's the only thing that's really keeping, I think, the league offices there.
Tied.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think Vegas is a good spot. Not a great spot. I think it's a good spot for an NBA team. Yeah. They have the Raiders now, who has they still have a decent following. It's not the same black hole that it was in Oakland, and nothing will be. The Knights have a great following. So
the Aces have a great following.
The Aces have a great following too. So I mean, there is sports DNA in that town. Even though it's new, there is sports DNA in that town.
Yeah, definitely.
So, do you think that a Vegas basketball team could work? Let's start with Vegas because Seattle is a more fun discussion.
Yeah.
Do you think a basketball team in Vegas could work? And what do you think that branding would look like a little bit?
Wow.
That's the fun part of
it. The great question. I think it would work. I think that when we saw everybody try to move to Vegas, like the Raiders, especially in that first year, it worked great. We see the Knights have a great fan base throughout it all. Like I brought up the Aces too because that's the WNBA, and
they win the championship every other year. Yeah,
and they have a parade. Like they get crazy for them. So I think that they truly could have an NBA team. I think that's a great market. I think it's a thriving market right now. And before you know it, they're going to have all 4 big sports teams in the matter of a decade.
It is crazy. I think that there's going to be another city that I will bring up later in this list that is going to be in that same kind of realm. Interesting. But I do. It was a big hole in between Denver and LA and in Arizona. It was a big, gap of sports fandom. And I feel like they filled that with Vegas. And I feel like Vegas has done a great job of filling that gap too, because
they embrace it.
They could have tried it with a different city or a city like Vegas, who's such a tourist town, and that was the biggest draw against them. But I think the people that live there really proved that they like their sports teams. They actually love their sports teams, and they're going to go support them. So I think that an NBA team would work in there because the summer league does get pretty good attendance.
Yeah.
Not to say it's NBA, but they already have the arena for it. They already have the facilities for it. They've already used the facilities, the NBA, so they're familiar. The only thing that they would need to change is the Vegas team, not the Seattle team, I guess, but the Vegas team would be shifting around the realignment a little bit. But we'll talk about that after we talk about Seattle.
I forgot to answer your question for the branding.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely think that there's
got to be some black.
Got to be black, and maybe do we see a little gold, like a little black and gold team, a little black and yellow team, or something? I definitely think there's gonna be the color black because all the other teams have it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try going a little crazy too, like maybe like a little black and like turquoise, or like maybe they spice it up a
splash
little
of color in there.
Maybe
I think they literally go with the Vegas Golden Knights color scheme.
I think
they do. I think they do the black or gray, whatever they want to do is their main color, and then the black, gold, white,
a little red in there,
and then a little hint of red.
Yeah,
little hint of red. And I'm pretty sure the Aces do that now too, because I think they changed
their branding.
They changed their branding from red and gold and black to now to the Raiders to the silver and black. So I'm thinking now then you get 2 and 2, and the A's come in. They're the A's. They have their own.
A's, they got it. They're green and yellow.
Green and gold.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe the yellow and the black to tie it all together.
I don't mind that. But I like having the cohesion, I think, with the teams.
Yeah,
I think that the silver,
like Pittsburgh's
and the black,
got it right. Like they got
I think the silver, the gold, and the black and the gray all fit so well together with the hint of red.
Hint of red
for the cards, hearts, and the diamonds out there. But that's the Vegas flair. But I think that would be some fun branding. Let's move on to Seattle. I think we would know what their team would look like. The Sonics. I'm pretty sure it'd be just called the Sonics.
Not maybe the Supersonics?
I would want them to be called the Supersonics.
Why wouldn't they call them the Supersonics?
I don't know. But because I think it... Am I wrong?
Do you want to start like a new era or something?
I don't know. I thought at the end of their time they got rid of the Super, but I think I'm wrong.
I don't know.
But I mean, it could have just been on the logo. They just had
that's
Sonics
true.
over it, but that is their name. I retract that. They should be the Supersonics. That's on me. I'm sorry. But the green and gold is their color scheme.
Man.
What do you think, just generally, what do you think that would mean for Seattle?
Man, I know
We're talking 3 years later from what we were before. This is probably the same sentiment.
Yeah, I mean, Ray and Everbank, that is going to be crazy. I can't even imagine what those tickets will go for on that opening night. Because that might be like I don't know, because they've been begging for a team for years. I mean, they didn't have like a bad fan base. They just kind of got up and left to Oklahoma City. So having that new branding, I want to see what that would look like. And then they can have some sweet throwbacks, even with some of the red throwbacks that they have too.
Thank you, because this is what I'm so excited to see their modern branding of what they want to be, not what they used to be. Do they go back to that little like arched thing on the jersey, which is sick?
It is,
which is awesome. Or do they go something more modern that fits them a little bit more? And then they also have the room for those throwbacks that they had. I mean, so many great jerseys in that brand. I don't know why they ever thought to leave Seattle. It makes zero sense.
I don't know.
Such a great basketball city. But I want to ask you a question now, because we know the branding a little bit. We know the team. So this is a little bit less of a discussion and more of just a conversation about these teams.
Okay.
But who do you think the first game in Seattle would be against?
Ooh.
Would it be
I wouldn't be
regional? Would it be a Portland? Would it be Golden State to get it more regional? Or do you think they would just say, hey, here's OKC. Here's OKC.
This is my thing. Because here's where I'm going to be very, very honest with my not knowing.
Or the Vegas team. So, I don't think they would do that. But
no, they wouldn't. Because they'd want them to have their own.
I think they would want them to have their own special thing. Yeah.
I definitely think I could see OKC. But I don't know back then, because this is my before my time. That's why I'm saying I don't know. By not knowing, like I said earlier, I don't know who their rivalry used to be with.
The Grizzlies.
It was
Vancouver Grizzlies.
Okay, so now they're gone too.
And I guess Portland
So
too.
I would probably put Portland
I
there.
think Portland would be great.
I think that'd be and Dame would play there.
Yep.
Because he'd be.
If
maybe actually, yeah. It could be
but
in like 3
other
years.
than that, I feel like it would be great for the fans to travel.
That would be.
I mean, you would get some
Regional
Portland
rivalry.
fans there. I'm just picturing before the game, they open up on the arena, and you're seeing all the Steve Green walking in. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be electric.
I'll watch that opening night over any other opening night.
I think that first game though in Seattle against OKC, they'll put that in November, December, on prime time.
Yep.
It's gonna be loud.
That's gonna be crazy.
And that's it. Oh my goodness, that's gonna be. And it's really and it's funny because it's like these OKC guys. Some of them, I mean, most of them are around our age and don't know basketball with the Sonics in it.
No.
So it's kind of weird because they be booing the Thunder, who don't really know the ties. If it'd be different if it was like, I would say a guy like Kevin Durant, but he also played for Seattle, so I think he would be a guy that would
his rookie year
that would really appreciate going back, and they would love him.
Yeah. I think they will when he does. He will play there. I bet you he plays.
I think he's
going to
stay in the league.
Yeah, until he can go there.
To try to get back there. And maybe even play there his last season. I don't know.
That would be sweet.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be full circle moment, man.
Tie it all off.
Yeah.
He said I would have stayed in Seattle my whole career if
really.
If they didn't go to OKC, I feel like he
probably
would have stayed there.
Wow.
But nonetheless, the last question here for the NBA: what team out of Memphis, Minnesota, and New Orleans goes to the East?
We've talked about this before.
I think there's a right answer.
I think. Well, we talked about this.
There's a geographic right answer, and then there's a right answer.
Yeah. Well, 'cause I remember when we did have like this discussion, we're bringing 2 teams to the West, so you have to move 2 to the East.
1.
I don't know how, because both Seattle and Vegas would be in the West.
Right.
So why would you only move 1?
It would be 17 teams in the West and 15 in the East. So you move 1 to the West to the East.
Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, that's true. I would just move Memphis. I think that's the most reasonable.
Though?
I just think that geographically, either that or New Orleans. And I don't think there's any other
I think that's
answer.
the wrong answer in general. I think New Orleans is the right geographic answer. I think Minnesota is the right answer.
Nah.
And I think people are only saying Minnesota is not the right answer because of Anthony Edwards. I think that's it. I think that because he's so good and Minnesota is a good team, that they don't want a team to just move from the West to East and be a contender in the East and then potentially go play in the final. I'm just explaining my point.
I think Memphis would feel the most
also,
right.
If you look at a map of the NBA teams, Minnesota is nowhere close to anybody.
They're just in the middle.
Western Conference. They're close to Milwaukee, Indiana, and Chicago. That would be their division.
Yeah.
And the next closest team to them is Utah or Denver or OKC.
That's true.
Like, that's not close. New Orleans, they have the Texas teams right there. They have Memphis right there. So if you break up that, like, that doesn't make much sense to me. I understand Memphis going, like, it would make sense.
That just would make the most, like,
but, like,
logical
if you
sense.
look at this, like, if you look at this map right here, like, Minnesota is not, you know what I mean?
know,
like,
yeah.
Like, they're not very close. I don't know. I think a lot of people are just using the fact that they're a better team than Memphis and New Orleans right now, just to be like, oh, let's not throw them in the East because they might go to the finals the first year. But it's like the Timberwolves have not been a good historic franchise. Like, they've been terrible, honestly.
Yeah.
So, and same with those other two, honestly. So, I don't know. I think that would be something really interesting.
I don't really think you have a wrong answer at the end of the day. If you move any of the teams, I think
Memphis is the wrong answer.
Really?
I think so because
they have like the farthest trips in the NBA. That's why I thought of them.
I think they're the wrong answer because I think New Orleans is better suited with like the Florida teams in Atlanta than I think Memphis is maybe. That's just like a personal opinion on it.
Yeah.
I think they fit. I think New Orleans fits better with the Florida, like the Southeast teams, I guess. But you could also make the case that they fit better with the Texas teams. So it's like, it's a give and take. But
it's a weird.
That's why I think overall,
thing.
I think Minnesota fits better because you don't have this back and forth of which side do they fit with. I think they just fit better with the East personally. So it's just like, to me, it's just the easy decision.
Do you think they
throw them in?
Redo like the
divisions?
Divisions
too?
So
yeah, so that's the main thing I was trying to argue was I think they would go to 4-team divisions.
Okay.
I think that their division would be them, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Bucks, the Bulls, and the Pacers.
Yep.
And I think it would be the Pistons, the Cavs, the Raptors, maybe the Wizards, and then you would have the Knicks, Nets, Sixers, and Celtics.
Yep.
And then the Hornets, Hawks, Magic, and Heat.
That would make sense.
That'd be your Eastern Conference. Then you would have the Texas teams and New Orleans as a division, and then you would have Memphis, OKC,
Phoenix.
I'm doing this off the top of my head. Denver and Utah in a division.
Okay.
And then the two LA teams, Phoenix and Vegas, and then Portland, Seattle, Sacramento, and Golden State. Boom. That's my prediction for the divisions. I think that would. I know the divisions don't matter too much other than scheduling, which is why it matters.
Yeah.
But I think that geographically, I think those make the most sense.
They do.
But there's definitely other ways to work it out. If you put the Pelicans with the Hawks and the 2 Florida teams, but then you got to move Charlotte up with the Wizards and the Then it's just the whole thing. It's just, I think it's just easier, the easy option to put Minnesota in the East. That's just my opinion. But good discussion nonetheless.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the NHL, a league that always wants to expand for some reason. Gary Bettman always wants another team in there. Potentially a $2 billion bid. For
2 Bs.
Yeah, 2 Bs for the NHL. In the rumored cities that I will say when I just looked up NHL or potential NHL expansion cities, it came up as Houston and Atlanta. What are your thoughts on those two?
We already see Atlanta. We saw the Thrashers. They didn't work out.
Twice.
Yeah, they didn't work out. Oh yeah, because the Flames too. Yeah, so I would shoot down Atlanta. They already tried it. It didn't work. Now Houston, that might work. I don't know. I don't really know. Just because I know a lot of Dallas Stars, that'd be just kind of tough breaking up some of those fans. But H-Town loves their city.
I don't think it would be hard.
I think H-Town would work. I just don't think that Atlanta would.
I think Houston would work for sure. It's the 4th most populated city in the U.S.
Wow, yeah.
Don't have a hockey team. I think I don't know.
They have the arena.
This is the thing. It's like people are like, they're not. I throw out the non-traditional hockey market. I don't care.
It's
anymore.
over.
The Stars are one of the best teams every year in the league,
yep.
And they pack that arena
every time. Yeah,
and
especially come playoff season.
Yeah, and especially come playoff. That's what I was exactly gonna say. They're one of the best playoff atmospheres.
Yeah.
I don't think Houston would be any different, honestly. They have the Astros, they have the Texans. They don't have anything else going.
That would make them a big 4.
Yeah, they would just have to worry about the Rockets with their
scheduling
and stuff.
But that's a common thing.
It's fixable.
Yeah,
it's fixable. So it's those are one of the issues that I feel like Houston would just be able to slide right in there. They'd have rivalries right away.
They would.
It would be great. They would have a great city to do it too. I don't know why they didn't do that maybe before Seattle. I hate to be that guy, but whatever.
Yeah.
I think Atlanta would work. I hate to be that.
Really?
I hate to be that guy.
You really
again.
think it would?
I do.
I don't know, man. I just don't see it.
I do. It's gonna be the obvious. It's gonna be oh yeah, you're right. But it's it depends on the owner. The first owner that the Atlanta Flames had, basically got an offer from the WHL or WHA or whatever it was, the league that had the Oilers and the Island, all these other leagues before they merged with the NHL, and they said, hey, we'll buy your team, we'll move them to Calgary, and then you can have you're there, you have an NHL team if you move your team to Calgary. So they moved them to Calgary. That's what they did. They knew they were going to make more money, so they moved them there. Atlanta wasn't a huge city at the time. That was whatever. So they went back in the 2000s, expanded to the Thrashers. The ownership group did not spend a single dollar on that team for 10 seasons. So I think that it's a crock of whatever for Atlanta not to have a team. I think they're a big enough city. Now, do they have the fan base? That's the main question.
That's
do
why
they
I
have
said
the fan
no.
base? I think they would. If they had. Now they have a new arena. To be fair, they were playing in the Phillips Arena, which was not the best arena. Now they're playing State Farm Arena. I don't know.
Yeah, but there's not even that many Hawks fans that show up. So
there is, yeah.
I mean, but they don't sell out though.
I don't know. I think
you have a lot of just visiting.
I don't know
guys.
how you would test run. I don't know how you test run that.
I don't either.
Besides the fact that obviously they've had 2 chances and they blew them both. But I do think that there's a I don't know. Maybe they're the team that has to wait till 35 and 36 to get in. To wait their turn. Maybe wait another 10 years after that to see if the city develops a little bit more into a hockey city. I don't know, but I think it could work. And then what's
I would still like Kansas City having a team.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's another city you would like? Kansas City.
I think Kansas City would probably be my vote. I mean, I think that just Midwest and hockey it works. I don't know how. I just feel like it works, and that's what my reasoning is. Plus, we love that arena.
Team in the Dakotas.
Yeah, that would be sick.
You can't.
I know.
It's just not.
That would be sick.
Market, but Kansas City's kind of in the same realm, where it's Midwest hockey. They would have rivalries with the Blues for sure.
Colorado,
huge with Colorado.
Yep.
Probably with Chicago and Minnesota too.
Probably.
That'd be great. I would love Kansas City. They already have the arena.
Yeah, they have it. Yeah.
And that was a team that we brought up on our first episode too. Kansas
I definitely think, yeah, it was, yeah.
I would like it. So I think there's definitely a small list. You're against Atlanta having a team in general.
Yeah,
like, forever. Like you never want Atlanta to have a hockey team ever again.
As of right now,
I think if they brought back the Thrashers, dude, that'd be so cool.
Oh, I think it would be so cool because
so sick.
But I don't know.
Those used to be my favorite jerseys.
Really?
And, like
the baby blue ones?
The baby blues growing up, like because they had the red and the orange and yellow, and
it was such a weird color scheme, but really,
so many
it was cool for
us.
us.
Like it was so cool as a 6-year-old looking at the TV. And Kovalchuk was on the team. I'm still a fan of Quebec.
I would still like that too.
I think they would be in the expansion within Atlanta. I think if they did go to Atlanta, they would have to bring in a super traditional market to balance it out.
Yeah,
I think that Quebec would be actually
a safe call. And plus, like
safe call for
the Nordiques, they have the. I think that they probably. I was actually going to ask you that. How would you think that, Canadians would react to getting a new team?
I think that the Quebec fans.
I think that would work.
I'm not sure exactly what. Totally okay. So like when the Quebec Nordiques left. I'm pretty sure that the Ottawa Senators were either in their like first or second season, or they were 1 or 2 seasons away from coming back to the league. Okay. So with that, I think that a lot of those Quebec fans shifted to Senators fans or Canadians fans.
Okay.
Right. Now I'm not sure how many would switch back to Quebec fans, but the people in Ottawa's in Ontario. It's close to Quebec, but it's not in Quebec City. So I think the people in Quebec City for sure would be like, all right, I'm back to a Nordiques fan.
Yeah.
I think you would get some of those Canadians fans back. I think you would get some Senators fans back, and there you go. That's your fan base.
I think so too, yeah.
Like, there you go. That's your fan base right there. I think that's a no question, but I do think that they would have to be in the 35-36 expansion probably to be those next teams. And I think that Kansas City and Houston would be a great next two for the NHL.
I think so too. Definitely, I like Quebec, though. I think that's probably my number one.
But I like the idea of balancing them within Atlanta.
Yeah,
to make it like
a
more
Houston.
of a soft launch kind of, like a, hey, here's Atlanta. Like, sorry guys, but Quebec's back. Like it's
kind of like what they're doing for the NBA. I mean, I know like Las Vegas is a bigger market.
I forgot about this, but this is also another conversation we need to have. So we're talking about these 4 cities, but one city was guaranteed a team back, and it was Phoenix.
Oh really?
Phoenix was guaranteed.
Oh, they were. Yeah.
Once they get an ownership group that wants the team back, they're the first team that gets the priority of getting a team. Which is totally fair.
Totally
and I love
fair.
that the NHL did that too. They put it in writing. They said, hey, whenever you get somebody that cares about this community enough to build an arena and to have a team back here, we're gonna have the Coyotes back, and I think they should be back back as a team. I think it's a shame.
It was.
It's a damn shame that the Coyotes are not. I don't hear that howl after they score it. They didn't score much, but when they did, that howl was deafening through the arena, that 5,000 seat arena. But Phoenix will get a team. So one of those teams will be out, and it's probably going to be Atlanta.
Yeah.
Let's move on, if you want, to the NFL.
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you think about the NFL? Where do you think they would expand? Give me 2 cities that you think they would go to. Yeah, do you think that they would go 2 cities, or do you think they would go straight to 4?
I don't think you could do 4. I think you have to start with 2. I would like to say 4. I think it's more realistic to see what the league would look like with 2. And then if you want to do another 10-year down the line, the league's starting to be like how it is right now, where it's just like a lot of good talent that's not being played, then you extend another 2. But first off, my dome, we got to bring it back to St. Louis. We have to. That is my number one. If they don't make it to St. Louis, I'll be genuinely pissed.
So since we had that first episode too, the UFL and the USFL have combined. They've taken off too. I'm excited for those leagues. I'm not gonna be a huge fan, but I'm gonna support them, I guess. I do love what they're doing. I think that they're going in the right direction.
I think so too.
They've definitely picked some better cities. St. Louis has been the best city.
Yeah, it is
for that league.
The Battlehawks, man.
And I think it just goes to show that team that city still loves football, and they want football. Now, this would be a whole other thing is when they come back. Those fans hate the Rams, despise. So it's like, you can't call them the Rams.
Nope.
They've always been for the 15 years they were there. They were the St. Louis Rams. Do you call them the Battlehawks? Do you just have a full new identity?
Like, you gotta go new identity, because unless the NFL buys out the Battlehawks, that would be the only way to do it. But
and they
I don't think
brand. I don't even know.
I just
but
don't.
all those fans, like, I feel like you wouldn't be able to have a UFL team there anymore. Like the Battlehawks would not be able to be a team.
No, they wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying. So I feel like.
But you can't just steal the naming rights. You'd have to buy it.
No, I know, but yeah, but I guess
I just don't think it's
I'm
worth.
saying that the NFL would look at them and be like, "Hey, we're looking at St. Louis. We'll buy the Battlehawks from you."
I don't think so. Just because I think the NFL they would save a lot of money, and they know that whatever team they put in there, it's gonna work.
That's true.
So I'm gonna say no, and I'm gonna say they would go with something completely new. That would probably be maybe we go a bird theme because they already have the Cardinals. Maybe we go a bird theme. I mean, I'm not saying the Cardinals because they already exist.
That's why they went Battlehawks. Maybe
go like the St. Louis
Hawks.
The Hawks. I don't know.
That was a basketball team back in the day. To be fair, when the Atlanta Hawks won the AB, I don't know if you saw this or not. This is hilarious, but Draymond Green, when they were playing against the Hawks the other day,
okay.
I don't know what was going on, but some fans were talking to him in Atlanta, and he looked up. He goes, "Is that an ABA championship up there? St. Louis Hawks? You have a St. Louis Hawks banner hanging in your arena? St. Louis Hawks." He's like, "We're in Atlanta, right? We're in Atlanta."
Yeah.
So I think St. Louis Hawks could work.
The only reason why it might not be is just because of the Seahawks.
Seahawks, yeah.
But it probably wouldn't work.
No. But St. Louis.
But St. Louis, definitive answer. Locking it in.
I like that.
I would also like San Diego back. I know that's not a popular pick. I know we should probably just go to a new market.
Well, basically, I think if San Diego were
I think you move the Chargers back.
The Chargers, yeah.
Well, no, I think you move the Chargers back. Oh, shoot.
I don't think anybody would disagree with you there. I feel like if the Chargers, once again, got an ownership group that was San Diego based, was all about San Diego, and I think eventually it might happen. And they built a stadium there. It's literally the same thing as the Coyotes, except they just have a team that's an hour away, not like two, like, you know.
No, yeah.
Now
I'm trying to think though, because then if you move, do you move another team into LA to share SoFi with still?
No, I think the Rams just have their own.
So then that's a lockdown.
Because it's not like you can't use it's not like they don't use SoFi for other stuff.
No, I know, yeah.
So it's like.
Well, so then what? I guess what would be the? Because then I guess I have a 3-team move because I would have St. Louis getting a team. I would have LA moving to San Diego, and then I would still need another team.
Well, my city that I would bring up, and I think it's not my front runner, but it might be just because I think it's the most possible.
Are you still
option.
Are you still on the San Antonio train?
No, I'm not on San Antonio.
You were big on that train a couple years ago.
But now, I'm on the Utah train.
Okay, I would like that
because
I truly would.
The Mammoth went there, because of that Ryan Smith owner guy who owns the Jazz now owns the Mammoth, and we'll talk about. I think Salt Lake is going to be a good fit, maybe potentially for MLB as well. I think that they might be the next team to be that booming Las Vegas type.
I think that they are too.
Where they end up with four major sports teams within a very short period after just having the Jazz for. Ever.
Yeah.
Like since the 70s. Like you just had the Jazz for about 40 years, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, within 15 years, here you go. Here's 3 new teams. Like, boom.
And they would rally.
But it's like, you already get the BYU, Utah State, Utah, all of those teams, football-wise, are very well supported.
Yeah, they are.
It's like you wouldn't have a question with that being a support of football. Because that could be a question. You already have some rivalries. Denver is right there.
Yep.
You have the Cardinals if you want to throw them in the NFC. You have Vegas if you want to throw them back in the AFC. That would be a great. I think they would. I don't know what they would do.
I don't know how they. I think you just need a whole new realignment.
You probably need a whole new realignment. Would that mean West East? Would that mean move teams from AFC to NFC?
I think so.
Move teams from NFC to AFC.
I think you go crazy. I think you just restructure it a lot.
Weird time in the sports world there if that comes to be, but. I think personally for me, if I had to pick right now, if somebody's like 2 cities that get an NFL team right now, St. Louis and Salt Lake for me.
I would agree with that. Because, I mean, I was thinking more when I said San Diego, you were totally right where you said it was a Coyotes move, you know. But the Chargers still exist.
In an ideal world for me, you also only have one New York team, and you move the Jets to New Jersey.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like the Chargers move could be kind of seen as a Coyotes move.
Okay.
But at the same time, it could be the best thing for the NFL as a whole to fill that space of putting a team in San Diego, but also just, you know, adding another market in Salt Lake that has interest and is a booming sports market right now.
It really is.
I think it would work. I think it would
too, for sure. I really like Salt Lake.
Let's talk about internationally real quick. Do you think London or Toronto would work?
I think Toronto.
Obviously,
would.
Toronto would work a little bit more than London, but
I just think Toronto. Well, I'm not gonna say anything overseas, but I will say Toronto would work 100% because they would really, they already embrace all their teams they already have, especially when.
When they're good, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like I was gonna say in the NBA, where they're the only Canadian team, so they embrace that. They call themselves the North. Like they would kind of embrace that too if they were in the NFL. It'd be the same thing.
The Blue Jays do the same thing.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah. Except for the Maple Leafs, but yeah, they embrace where they are geographically, and I think that they just love their city. It's a great city. I think it would work. I think Toronto would work. Would I want it in Toronto? Not necessarily. If we can keep it in Salt Lake City and St. Louis, that would be my number one option. But I wouldn't be surprised if they move there because I know Roger really likes going international.
Well, I do think that either you put a team in Toronto and you suck it up, or you bring back the Canada game. I mean, I think it's a shame that the Canadian fans don't get an NFL game and you bring teams to Brazil.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but there's way more NFL fans in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
That I don't know. I think you're depriving a market.
When did they have that?
The Bills used to play there every year.
Really?
Every year for about 10 years they used to play there in the Sky Dome. And
I did
they
not
got rid
know
of
that.
because that's when the Bills were rumored to move there. So it was a 1 game trial run every year for the Bills to go. It was the worst. We were like, we're going to lose our team to Canada. Then Pagula came in and saved us, but since then they have not had a game in Canada.
Wow.
So I think it's a shame. I think they should have one too.
Yeah.
Not maybe a team, but a game. I think if you're putting them in Germany and France and
Australia now.
Why doesn't Canada have one?
Yeah.
I don't know. That makes me a little bit mad. I agree with your point. I don't think that they should go overseas with a permanent team.
Yeah.
But I don't mind the going overseas for
a game. No, yeah, it's different.
I do like the fact that I hope they get to a system where, because they're just going to keep adding more and more. I hope they get to a system where it's teams go either 2 out of every 4 years or 2 of every 3 years or something, or don't go every 2 of 3 years or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know how you would work that out because some teams obviously would go, like the Jags are over there every year, but
they are, yeah.
You don't want the Bills to have to go play in London every year just because they have 16 games there overseas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I like getting the international fix with just the individual games, but not the teams.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, yeah, that does make sense.
So,
I agree.
I like that, but I do think that the Canada game should come back. I think that's no question. Final league that we're going to talk about here, and we're going to wrap it up. Same order as our first episode, too.
Yep.
Let's talk about the MLB. The second most likely league probably to expand next. If
I would
had
agree.
to guess.
I'd agree.
NBA obviously first
NBA
within the next 2-3 years, and the MLB probably. We will know by within a year from now, probably with this new lockout situation, if they will be talking about expansion, if they're not going to do it. So in a year from now, revisit this episode and maybe look back and see we're right or not, rate it right or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the leading candidates for the cities right now is Nashville, which is the big selling point right now, and Salt Lake City. The other potential cities, because I know you're not as tapped into the MLB expansion as the other ones, I guess, is Portland, Charlotte, or Raleigh.
Yep.
One of the two. Montreal, Austin / San Antonio area. Those are the.
I think I'm gonna go with a common theme that I've been going with for the whole day. I like the one new and one returning to the old. I like going back to Montreal, bringing back the Expos, and I like Salt Lake City. I want to make that a big 4 sports city. I'm gonna go with those right off the bat.
I would love Montreal to come back. I would love the Expos to come back. I don't think it would work.
No.
I really wanted to, because I want to say it's the same thing as the Nordiques, but it's not. It's not. It's like, I feel like baseball, it could. I don't know. The Canadians have such a stronghold on Montreal that it's like, if you put another team in there, it would have to all go right. Like, if they were bad, I feel like people wouldn't go. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, and the weather's not great there either, so it's like you can't.
That is
April
true.
Games would suck. September games would suck too. Playoff baseball would have snow there.
Kind of cool.
It would be very cool. It'd be very cool. But for those factors, I feel like they wouldn't go back, especially because of all the player feedback that they're getting about where players want the expansion cities to be because
Ooh.
they
have a vote?
They have to have somewhat of a say.
I agree. Yeah.
They have to want to live in these cities. Like they want to have,
very true.
And all the players have to vote because you don't know in 2 to 3 years who's going to be up for the expansion draft or however it's going to work. But they all like the warmer cities, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's like Nashville's the big one that all these players love because they have a AAA team down there. The people that play for that AAA team are the Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh, no way.
Which is kind of weird, but they love it. Every time somebody goes down there, they love playing in Nashville. The fans always pack it out. And the city's just great, too. It's right in the middle of downtown. So I think Nashville...
That would be cool.
I don't want to say it's a lock, but I actually do think Salt Lake is a lock. For whatever reason. I do, too. For whatever reason, I think the MLB...
I think in every sport, I think they're a lock.
I think the MLB really likes Utah, and I think they would have the ownership group. That's the main thing. I think they would have the ownership group to go to Rob Manfred and be like, hey... You guys haven't had this stability with some of your owners like the A's, like the White Sox, like the Pirates, like some of these teams. We can give you that. We're going to give you a team in a market that you've never had before.
Yeah.
We're going to pack it out. We already have a AAA team here. We just need to build up the stadium a little bit. We have these 3 other franchises in Utah that have been thriving, including one new NFL team that we got, or
the hockey team. Well, according to what our episode said,
we're saying, at least at that point, it'll be a new hockey team and already established basketball team to bargain with. And then I think it comes down to. So I think Salt Lake's in there, but I think I like Raleigh over, and I've seen I've seen
Raleigh's.
They have an Instagram page that's MLB for Raleigh. They're backed by an ownership group that really does care about baseball. It's not some like Nashville's got an ownership group that's built up of like Justin Timberlake and Carrie Under artists and like it's not necessarily people that are, and Justin Timberlake's not in the best light right now. I don't know if you've seen all that stuff with him.
I have not.
But it's not people that care about sports necessarily. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So and Raleigh has compared themselves to Nashville. They're like metro area, bigger than Nashville. They have more people apparently in the city than Nashville. They have more
the capital.
They have more MLB viewers based on the TV numbers than Nashville. So they've used all of this data. The only thing that Nashville has going for it is that it's a better like city in general, and that players want to go play there more than Raleigh. But Raleigh is competing even against Charlotte at that point. For North Carolina. So it's a tough toss-up, and I know Raleigh's a tough sell to say. They already have the Hurricanes there.
They do, and so they show out.
It would be 2 teams in Charlotte, 2 teams in Raleigh for Carolina, so it would even it out a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it would work. I think you need to see the points that they're making to really, have
true.
it.
That is true.
I don't know, because it's hard for me to explain right now to have Raleigh be the team that I'm picking, but the way that they explained it, I would love a North Carolina baseball team in general. So I think them or Charlotte would be awesome. I think Nashville would be great.
A lot of North Carolina fans are actually Braves fans too.
That's true.
So that would be an easy way to take them away.
Because there's no team from the Braves to the Reds.
That's
why they had a team at Bristol Speedway last year in Tennessee. Because first of all, they wanted to see if the Nashville fans would travel. They wanted to see which fan bases between Charlotte, Raleigh, and Nashville would travel most to go see their teams that are
possible
now. Which is possible, yeah, but there's nobody in that region for baseball, and that's a spot
so
in the country
true.
where baseball is a very important sport. I feel like, and probably
especially
one of the most
in North Carolina.
Yeah, one of the more important. Like hockey's not that big, and they have a hockey team. Like basketball's obviously huge. I feel like football's not as big as maybe baseball is down there.
I agree.
I haven't lived down there. I don't know, but I don't know. I feel like baseball's a big sport down there. I know it's huge in South Carolina at least. So. I think one of those cities would work.
So, would you name them Carolina, or would you give them the North Carolina? Like, what would you do?
I think it'd be Carolina. It'd be Carolina because you got the Panthers, you got the Hurricanes there. And I think at that point, you need to change it to the Carolina Hornets.
Really?
Make it
full circle?
The Charlotte Hornets has been the name forever.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. I don't like the fact that there's like the Panthers and the Hurricanes are newer teams, and they both didn't choose the city name. You know, they both just went with Carolina in general.
True.
It's a little annoying.
I think it kind of sounds good, though.
I like it. I like it because it incorporates like
the South and the North.
You're not gonna put a team in South Carolina. Like there's not a big enough. There's big cities down there, but there's not a big enough city and a big enough market for it. But they're tied to each other, obviously.
Plus, they already have Columbia, which is already backed by the college. So
it's a big college. It's
college
state.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I think that a North Carolina team would work, whether it be Charlotte or Raleigh. But I think Nashville and Salt Lake would also be good option. It's a good problem to have for the MLB. There's some
Great
good options.
problems.
I think
There
the
are.
only place that you can't go is probably the San Antonio route. Don't think it would work.
I think San Antonio is
I think
made,
they just know that there's people there that would pay money. So I
Yeah.
think they just always throw that around. I don't think Portland would work just yet. Even though they
Tough
do want
weather
a team.
there.
Portland wants a team bad, and they're rumored to build a dome if they get a team.
Okay.
So that wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, that's true.
but
Does Seattle have a dome?
Do they have like a retractable?
Okay. Oh, yes, that's right.
I don't know if they would have the fan base for it. I don't know, but I don't know the Portland baseball scene. So shout out Portland. I don't know.
Yeah, shout out Portland. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a tough one.
But overall, that's the MLB. Let us know your thoughts about this whole expansion thing with the NBA in the recent news. And going back to our first episode here, it was fun going back to the roots.
Yeah.
Of the
Gotta go
of
back
this
to the
whole
roots.
thing.
That's what it's
Yeah.
all about, baby.
Gav, you got anything?
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for listening for 3 years. Thank you for listening for one day if this is your first show. We really appreciate everything. And yeah.
We do have a very special episode coming up.
We do.
Mike Vaccaro will be coming on the Out of Bounds podcast. That's crazy to say. Mike Vaccaro will be coming on the Out of Bounds podcast.
Crazy.
To talk about his new book and just his experience in his career in general. We're excited for that. I think they'll be coming out on April 8th or April 9th. We'll be recording it on April 8th, but we'll be coming out the day of or day after. So stay tuned for that in the next coming weeks. We will be reminding you of that over the next few episodes. But stay tuned with us for next week when we're going to be back. More March Madness talk. Some good games this weekend coming up for college basketball.
Go green.
Yeah, go blue. Going to be some good games coming up. Playoffs are ramping up for both the NHL and NBA. About 10 games left for both of those weeks. We will have an episode probably in 2 weeks for that.
Yeah, so probably right when we get back from April break.
Stay tuned for all
Easter
that.
Break.
And then, as always, thank you for 3 years and have a day.
Have a day.